thank you for tuning in to another episode of Naturalist F. I'm your host, Dr. Ferrante Frazier. I am a holistic practitioner teaching the ways of health, only using ideal requirements. And look here, we got the minister, Michaela, up here. I'm glad because you know the name of this topic of this show, right?
No,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
we have we're gonna
You
have
can hear me?
technical difficulty. I see.
You can't hear me?
I heard you, but I didn't understand you. I hear you now.
Oh, okay. I said, you do understand the topic for the day, since you being our health minister. The topic of the show today is the 10 Commandments of Health.
Okay. All right. Yes,
So
sir.
we're going
Yes,
to be
sir.
talking about the
Amen.
10 Commandments of Health, and if all those who know about the Bible, God gave the 10 Commandments to Moses to try to steer the children of Israel into the right direction to the promised land. So in hygiene, we call these 10 steps the 10 Commandments of Health that will steer you towards the promise, which is health. You know, a lot of people, that's what you want when you're sick and suffering. You just want to be healed. You want to be healthy. You don't want the pain no more. You don't want the aches and different stuff like that. So the promise from disease is health. So we've been teaching health for quite a while here in our community, and thanks to the Our Black Media platform, we're able to now bring holistic hygiene, natural hygiene to a more broad environment. Me and you've been hitting this ground for a long time, right, Michaela?
Right. 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 Yeah.
Has the message changed that we've been talking about yet?
No, no, Dr. Fresh, don't get me started because the word don't change. The
I knew
word
you was
don't
going to
change.
say that. Well, every other modality, every other medical science is changed with the scientists. A new scientist come out, a new doctor come out, and he come out with a new technique, a new understanding of this sickness. Hygiene has never changed. It hangs on the fact that man built his own disease. Disease is the result of misbehavior. You know what I'm saying? A violation of natural law, and then our body becomes sick. That because of poisons accumulating in our body, and then once those poisons accumulate in our body, then it start irritating the cells and tissues to death, and that's when we start
Right.
crying out, "Oh, I got pain in my liver. I got pain in my kidneys. I got pain in this area. I got pain in the butt." Most people are irritated in the butt. All right, okay. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. So
Move right along.
most people are, but if you're looking for a natural way to get healed, this is a good platform where you can learn about natural concepts and principles and conditions, which we're going to talk about today. If you follow the 10 Commandments, of health, you will see health restore back in your body. You don't have to go out buying a whole bunch of medicine, no medicine. You don't have to go out there buying no remedies. You don't have to go out there and get no pervasive treatments or anything like that. We're just going to give you the 10 Commandments for health, what thou shalt do, and thou shalt be made whole. All right. We
Amen.
don't want to sound so
Amen.
superstitious, but yes. You hear our minister in the background saying amen. All right. So, if you're trying to get in touch with us, you can always contact us at Savannah Natural Health, 912-227-9335. You can also go to heal.me/FF and learn more about our practice and how we go about helping individuals get rid of their chronic diseases. All right. So before we get started, we used to read and have you dissect some of the teachings of hygiene for the people. But since we're going into the 10 Commandments, we don't need to read today. All right. But I will be reading some of the literature from our previous hygienic practitioners who came before us and laid down the foundation of natural hygiene to get a word from them, encouragement, and help break down some of the questions people might have. You know, we don't get much questions up here. You would think, us being a holistic show and people suffering, you know, look how many people suffering in the world today. No one is asking, well, how can I get rid of my diabetes? Well, we can help guide them right here on the show. How to get rid of my high blood pressure, how to get rid of this gout, how to, you know, get rid of this colitis, you know, or whatever the so-called doctor is claiming that they have. You know, they're not wondering, you know, they're not asking questions, rather, unless it could be that you explain this so well, Michaela, that you don't leave room for questions.
Right. Let's just pray that that's what it is.
I know. Well, what we were talking about is the 10 Commandments. All right, that's going to be the topic today. So you just get ready. I know you already know the 10 Commandments in your mind. You done been teaching the 10 Commandments of health. We call them the 10 ways of health, but we're just calling it the 10 Commandments because it is it's a requirement. It's not like you can do it if you want to. Well, if you don't do it, you're going to know you're not doing it. It's going to be in the form of some ache, some pain, some suffering. Your body have to, you'll say, adjust to the lack of following the 10 ways of health or the 10 Commandments. So I'm going to start off with the first commandment, and I'm going to read it, and then you can elaborate on it, help break it down where people can understand the different. You know, this is your favorite class that you would teach anyhow, the 10 ways of health. So I think it's no one better than you to explain to them about it. We're also going to dip into Dr. Shelton teachings as well and let him explain some too to some of the more scientific people, you know what I'm saying, who don't want to hear, hey, Joker, you need to drink water. Well, why do you need to drink water? Well, this is the science behind the water concept, all right? And why you need to drink clean water, preferably over dirty water. So we're going to let Dr. Shelton help on some of that understanding, all right? All right, the energy enhancers, we call these the energy enhancers, but they also call the 10 ways of health, and we also call them the 10 commandments. No matter what you call it, they're the same no matter what. All right, so the first one being the Energy Enhancer 1, and we're getting this out of the Health Seekers Yearbook of Victoria Bidwell. She's one of the, leading hygienists that are still alive today that has been, you'll say, a really important person in bringing hygiene to a lot of people. So let's start off with cleanliness. Cleanliness is going to be the first commandment, all right? Cleanliness. Now, a lot of people don't know what cleanliness is. First of all, in natural hygiene, if we break down the word natural hygiene, well, most people, when they hear the word hygiene, you know, what they're thinking about, Michaela, when you know, the first time you say, hey, you got your hygiene together? What
yeah, did you wash your face and brush your teeth? Did you brush them teeth? Yeah, you took a bath today?
All right. So that's what we usually hear about hygiene. They want you to wear deodorants. They want you to, use soap and all this different kind of stuff. But in natural hygiene is the science that teaches the natural most way of allowing your body to repair and heal without using anything. You don't have to use anything. You just have to align yourself with the natural requirements for your body to be healthy. And those requirements were actually put in place before man was ever created, because without that creation, a man can't survive, because man can't survive if any one of these commandments were to disappear off the earth.
Right.
If we got to drink water, that's one of the commandments. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to that and break that down. But just imagine if water was to disappear from the world right now, what would happen to us?
If right where you are, Dr. Fraser, you did cleanliness, just cleanliness. If there was no such thing, you know what I mean? If it wasn't necessary for the cell to clean itself, if it was not necessary for us to clean our environments, well, I say necessary. It is necessary, but if we didn't do it, if it didn't happen, we'd die.
With that, we
We
see
would
that in the
die.
laboratory because the scientist in the laboratory, if he was, he in there culturing a cell inside of a culture, he got to make sure that culture is clean. Uh, Downstairs, got a turtle in there in a fish tank. Within about a couple of 3 or 4 days, that water be just as dirty and smelly. And if we allow it to stay like that, that turtle will die. But we clean it, put fresh water in there, scrub, get all that filth out of there, and that turtle be sitting there and getting big as I don't know what. It was a little itty bitty turtle, but not a turtle about the size of my hand. But it's because that turtle is being nurtured, all the waste is being removed out of its environment, and it's keeping a clean environment, and so it can grow. Same thing with us, like you're talking about. So cleanliness, external cleanliness, this means keeping the body and hair washed, the nails clean, and the teeth brushed. Virtually everyone readily appreciates the need for the simple hygienic measures included in external cleanliness. All right. Now, what about internal cleanliness? Now, that's what you're talking about. See, there was outward cleanliness, and this is what they even talk about in the Bible. If you notice, there was, John the Baptist. He was out there dipping people in water. These people were dirty. These people that they never know how to wash. They wonder why they got all these skin issues, why they can't see. They got all that crud in their eyes when they woke up and never washed, and now they blind and don't know why they blind. And all they needed to do was wash their face. They got all this filth on their body, and they, having all these sores popping up on their body. And they wondering why, because they never washed. Only until they went to, a flowing river of water, they were able to wash their sins or that dirt, that filth away. Because most people in those days, they were taking communicable baths. They were dipping in the same tub. 100 people would be in one tub washing. They're washing all their dirt, and the dirt didn't go nowhere. And they were sitting there washing in old dirt. Kind of like put it in the mind when we were young, and you and your brother and me and my brother and a couple other brothers have to wash in the same water. Don't run that water out. Y'all get in there and wash. So, and we wonder why we suffer sickness. But then there was John the Baptist saying that there's going to come one after me who's going to clean the inside of you.
The inside of you. That's right.
So there's an internal cleanliness as well. When we talk about internal cleanliness, what are we talking about?
We're talking about not putting garbage inside our machine.
Mm-hmm. What you call garbage now? A lot of people don't know what garbage is, Michaela.
Anything that doesn't exist in the ideal diet for the interior of the body.
You saying any substance that cannot be turned into flesh and bone is actually a poison.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying, Dr. Frazier.
Right.
Yeah.
So anything that is not a food that can be digested and broken down into simple substances and then absorbed into blood and then travel around the body and uptaken by the cell and then transform and shaped into a new cell structure is a poison.
That's right. It's a dirt. It's a dirt, because we're talking about cleanliness. So anything that you put inside that the body can't use to build the body, it is dirt.
All right. So without cleanliness, we'll see that our bodies start breaking down, especially if we're not getting, it'll even take your body longer to break down if you only had external uncleanliness. But, internal cleanliness, that means that your insides are being poisoned with a bunch of waste material. And that waste material, it's like you're a hoarder. You're hoarding waste. You're hoarding Oreo cookies. You're hoarding Nabisco cookies. You're hoarding the Ruffles, the onion rings, all the different types of tater chips. You all the corn flakes, all General Mills stuff. All this different stuff.
The Twinkies. The
Oh,
Twinkies.
the
They took
Twinkie, little Debbie. Yeah, little Debbie and her friends. You got her trapped in your body. You got all the toxic drinks. You got all the toxic food substance we call soul food and all this good eating and all type of stuff like that. All your tacos, all your spaghettis and all these different stuff that we label as food, but actually really is just poisoning in our body. All those things are we're just hoarding in our body. And those things, as they hoard in our body, they're causing disease. Am I right? Look like she got froze there. So until she come back and unfroze herself, we're going to keep on going. We're going to go to energy enhancer number 2, which is pure water. So this okay. So the first commandment would be, "Thou shalt be clean." Maintain a clean environment and an internal cleanliness. If you don't want your body to start breaking down, then you got to make sure your inside is clean. And you hear all this detoxing and stuff like that. Well, your body is always detoxing, but you have to make sure you don't retox faster than your body can detox. All right. So now the second commandment is to get fresh air, pure air. It's a commandment. Okay. It's a lot of people posting. We're glad that you're posting. If you have any comments, make sure you share and like it, and say something up here. And make sure you share it with your family and friends, or on your Facebook or Instagram or something like that, where people can learn about the best way of health without using the medicines, the remedies, and stuff like that. But the pure air, I'm going to share something with you. It say pure air, like all energy enhancer, is an essential nutrient. The pair of human lungs is made up of 1 billion tiny sacs. All right. Cells of each of us inhales 130,000 cubic inches of air a day. That's a lot of air we bring into our lungs every day. 130,000 cubic inches of air a day. These tiny air sacs cells exchange carbon dioxide for oxygen continually. So there's a continually take in of oxygen and exchange back for carbon. So your body is bringing in oxygen and it's throwing out carbon. 125 barrels of blood a day flow through the lungs for this exchange. So 125 barrels of blood go to your lungs, and the lungs filter that blood of carbon. And while it's there, it picks up oxygen to carry around to all the cells in the body to oxygenize them. Here is where the poison and impurities of the body are brought to be cast out of the body as we exhale out the carbon. And this is where the blood absorbs new flesh, new oxygen, rich oxygen, you know, to be sent out to all the trillions of cells. When the air we breathe is fresh and pure, it brings life to the body. It enhances our nerve energy supply. But when the air is filled with poisonous gases from pollution, it robs our precious nerve energy. Because if you're not breathing in oxygen, then that air that you're bringing in is actually got to go right back out. So you're robbing your body of oxygen. So all your cells and tissues are they're suffocating because they're not getting oxygen. You see a lot of people with the dark spots in their skin, especially around the face. They are suffocating. Their body is not full of oxygenated blood, and they're suffering. Their tissue they have no energy because they are not oxygenated, and their cells don't have the oxygen it need to help you say fuel that sugar in your cells in the mitochondria and cause you to have this energy. All right. So you're not going to be able to have the energy. Oh, she is back. You're back.
maybe not. Just keep going.
Well, I just went over the pure air,
Yes,
the commandment of fresh air. Notice
that's
that
right.
when we talked about air, when we talked about the first thing, if the first commandment, if things are taken away from us, if we look in the Bible and it says that in the beginning, God didn't make man before he made air. He made the air first. Then he made man. All right. He made the sun first. Then he made man. He made the water first. Then he made man. Man was the last because everything had to already be in existence to support the man. Because he got to walk on the land and grow his food from there. He got to drink the water. He got to breathe the air. He got to get the sunlight. All right. So here, pure air. Pure air is so required. You want to know how important air is to you? Hold your breath real quick. Don't do it, but imagine holding your breath real quick. Because I don't want you to say, oh man, Doc told us to hold our breath and I sit there and died. I don't know how you're going to be able to tell nobody I told you that if you died. But nonetheless, it don't need to be said. But if you was to hold your breath, you'll see how quick your body make you breathe. you know, you can't really hold your breath and kill yourself. You almost got to tie your hands up and have somebody stick something in your mouth and close your nose up and you not be able to
Right,
get it. Otherwise, you're going to be
right.
acting like a fish until you can get loose just to gasp for that air. All right. So
Mhm.
air is very important. Matter of fact, it's so important that you gotta pretty much breathe every couple of seconds. Now you don't have to drink water every couple of seconds. You don't have to eat every couple of seconds. You don't have to get sunlight every couple of seconds. But air is something that you pretty much have to get every couple of seconds. So if something's so important that you got to take in it every couple of seconds, it's very important that you get it as pure as possible. What are some things in our home, Michaela, that you've noticed in our years of doing this that you have to tell clients to get out of their home to make their air pure?
The fabuloso pot that stay on the stove.
Killing themselves with that.
The fabuloso pot. And the other
Wait,
potpourri.
hold on, Michaela. Before you say that, I know a bunch of people who would be balling that stuff on the stove and their kids running around in the house, snotty nose, upper respiratory diseases, asthma problem, and they're carrying them to the doctor every couple of days and into the emergency room. And when they get to the emergency room, the doctor saying, "Well, we don't know. They just suffer. It's genetics. It's a thing dealing with their genes. It's something that's being handed down. It's just something they're gonna go through, and it's an adolescent disease. They'll be over it." But little did they, never did they ask him, "Hey, are you burning Fabuloso in the house that's killing them that they can't, breathe inside there?" But go ahead. I just wanted to share that.
Um, and I'm not gonna step on somebody else's toe, and you know what I'm saying, and act like I ain't doing nothing that I don't have no business doing, because I love being good incense.
Mm-hmm.
So we burn our incense, and our sage in our home. Yeah, we do that.
Where the best place to burn that stuff at?
Well, outside, but outside in outside in a field far away from people.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And we can't negate the fact that we do it for our sacred ceremonial rituals. You know what I mean? But even at that, it's not meant for every day. Um, is you
You
should
had
never do it because
you had some people back, our ancestors. They used to be in these caves and they used to start a fire in their cave and kill their darn self. They would be in there burning stuff, and they didn't know that they needed to build a chimney and tell the man, "Say, I'm gonna get a way to get this smoke up."
those were not our ancestors, Dr. Fresh.
Well, I'm just saying,
So,
we had to get to a point where we learned that we were killing ourselves.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Even
right,
when with the gas stoves in the houses until we got, the gas furnaces where we were
right.
burning them, the bricks. We used to have them in the house when we were young. Now that was us when we were young. They had the little fire burning the bricks and all the gas, and we would sit up there and try to warm up before we had the central heating in the house, you know.
Right.
And we don't know what the central heating doing to us now. But you know, not only that, we have the Febreze we spraying. You know, you ever saw that commercial by Febreze that said that you can have rotten chicken behind the couch, or you can have a bunch of terrible fungus growing in your couch. Just spray it with this, and you won't smell it. It'll still be there, but you'll be sitting there. Oh, it smells so good.
Medicine for your couch. Medication for your couch. Come on, Dr. Frazier, what's next? Let's go to the next.
Okay. All right. What's next is pure water. All right. You know, if anybody have ever seen the tube through which tap water or mineral water or pure spring water runs in a water distiller, within a few weeks of distilling, this 2-inch in diameter tube completely fills with impurities that collect and then solidify. So in those waters that we see people drinking tap water, people drinking mineral water from wells, people are drinking spring water, and they're saying spring water is the best water. But if you run that spring water through a distiller, it will capture all the impurities in that spring water, and it will solidify to be just a big bunch of gunk.
And right? Or you get your rock out of
it. Right, you get your whole rock. So that is going into our body, and our body cannot make use of that stuff. You know, a lot of people talk about when you drink distilled water, your water ain't got no minerals in it. Well, it don't need none of that rocks and dirt in it. That's what they're calling minerals, the rocks and dirt. But see, they don't realize that's called inorganic minerals. They don't understand that term. Inorganic means that it is lifeless. It's actually dirt. It's soil that I'm drinking instead. But see, if I want organic minerals, it got to come from eating the plant, like you get from oranges, tomatoes, cucumbers, the salts that have been appropriated from soil into plant. But they're going straight to the soil thinking that they can get their minerals. That's not going to happen. So suffices here to say pure water, and pure water alone is absolutely essential for nutrition, environment, health. What do you say about the water, and how much water should we drink, Michaela?
I say what I always say about the water. If you put anything else in it, it's not water. And you should drink it when you're thirsty, because if you eat properly, you really won't be so thirsty. So you drink when you're thirsty. You drink when you fast.
All that salt stuff is what make you thirsty. They got all that extra salt on their food. That will make them thirsty.
I think. We're about to lose our connection again, Dr. Frazier. So I just want to tell you that before it happens. And so I'm gonna have to say good night to everybody and see y'all in the next episode.
Oh, we hate to see you go, man. Oh, well, you gotta talk until you leave. You gotta talk until you leave.
All right, let's go.
All right. So next we got
drink your water. Don't put nothing in it.
Rest and relaxation.
That's right.
How important rest is. That's a commandment now. Thou shalt rest. Ain't that the Sabbath?
It is the Sabbath, and it's the way to get energy. And interestingly enough, the Sabbath came after the work. So in those days, God created the heavens and the earth, and then after He finished all of that stuff, filling it up, then He created man, right? So He made the environment, then He made the man, and then God Himself rested.
Rest. So we need rest and relaxation. If we don't get rest, we don't get what? Energy. We don't get energy. I see we're losing you again. I guess it's the loss because you froze on us. But we don't get energy if we don't get rest and relaxation. We have to have downtime. If you'll never put your phone on the charger, guess what? You're not going to be able to take pictures. You're not going to be able to make phone calls. You're not going to be able to search the web or anything like that because your phone is going to be dead. Now, I'm going to take a break in just a second, and then we're going to come and start talking about the other 6 energy enhancers because we're coming up to the ideal diet. We're going to take one quick break real quick, and then we're going to come right back. Go ahead and take us to a break.
Hi, I'm Katie Brewington, and I'm running for Magistrate Court Judge. Magistrate Court is often called the People's Court because people represent themselves or are pro se litigants. Magistrate Court handles civil claims up to $15,000, dispossessory proceedings, pre-warrant applications, and good behavior bonds. I'm a great candidate for judge because I have the experience, compassion, and drive to get the job done. I have been a probation officer, a criminal defense attorney, a solicitor, and a municipal court judge, and I will take all of that experience to get the job done. So remember, vote Katie Brewington, May 21st, for Magistrate.
All right. Thank you for holding up and coming right back. This is your health coach, Dr. Ferrante Frazier. I've been teaching health for over a decade now, showing people how to reverse disease naturally without the use of herbs or remedies, showing you how to get your body in alignment. First, find out the cause of your disease, and the cause of your disease is a violation of law. Only until you understand the laws that govern your body will you understand what you're doing in violation that's producing your aches, that's producing your sickness. And all you have to do is find the cause. And Dr. Shelton said you can reverse disease in 2 steps. He said, stop the cause and then practice the conditions for health. Now, the conditions are these commandments that we're talking about. So if drinking is causing you to stumble and causing you to slur out the mouth, causing you to be delirious, well, the first thing you have to do is stop drinking. You can't think that you're going to eat right and exercise while you continuously pour liquor down your throat and think you're going to stay sober. That's not going to happen. The first thing to do is stop the poisoning, all right, which is cause. Then, practice the 10 commandments or the 10 ways of health or the 10 energy enhancers and allow your body to restore itself back to health. Now, energy, the 10 commandment number 5, the 5th commandment, thou shalt eat ideal food, all right? The ideal diet is formally defined as follows: fresh, wholesome fruits and vegetables, nuts, and seeds. When we say wholesome, that means not cooked, fragmented, or processed, or anything like that. You're pulling from the tree and you're biting down on the food. That's wholesome. Hasn't been sprayed with chemicals or anything like that. That's wholesome. So fresh, wholesome fruits and vegetables, nuts, and seeds in their uncooked, whole natural state, eaten in modest amounts and proper combinations while in a state of rest and emotional balance. Now, that's a lot I said in there. See, a lot of people think that just eating fruit and eating a whole bunch of it and eating it in any state, they're doing healthy activity. But it's hard, especially when a person is suffering with a chronic issue and stuff like that. Now, a healthy man can not pay attention to the amount he eats so often. He might can mess up a little bit. He can even be under a little stress when he's eating. But a person who is sick, who is suffering, especially with a chronic issue, there's more guidance have to be in the way they eat. So that's why we work with clients who are suffering with chronic diseases on a little more tight-knit situation where we actually tell them, hey, this is what you should be eating. I'm going to look at their weakest part. When they come and sit down with me, I'm going to get an example of their whole body. And I'm going to find out the weakest part of their body. And I'm going to design their body, their diet according to their weakest part. I'm not going to, his stomach works fine, so he can eat all the food he want to eat. No. If his liver is suffering, well, guess what got to break down and send enzymes to the stomach to break that food down? Well, the liver. So if we're putting excess of food in the stomach, then the liver must produce excessive amounts of enzymes to break down the food. And that's going to overwork an already tired, weak, and damaged liver. So I'm going to modify the diet in such a way where it will not overtax their weakest point, which is the liver, or which is the kidney, or which is the heart, or which is the brain. Whatever organ is the weakest is going to be the I say the point of which we're going to base their diet, their lifestyle changes on, if that makes sense. So it should be eaten in modest amounts and in proper combination. The way we eat should be in proper combinations as well. You know, if we look at the animals in nature, they don't combine anything with their food. You don't see a bird eating seeds and worms at the same meal. At one meal, they eat worm. At one meal, they eat seeds. All right. You don't see animals, other animals, you know, you don't see the gorilla saying, well, yeah, I need to have some rice. I need to have some bread. I need to have some bananas. I need to have all these other fruit. No, they eat one food item called monomeals. And they eat those monomeals of food till they're full and then they're stopped. You know, that's what causes us to overeat a lot anyhow, especially when we combine so many foods together. We tend to overeat because every time you put a new taste into your mouth, you get a hunger sensation. It's called the satiety. What do you call it? The apostat. The apostat. The apostat. You'll find that the apostat is always set on a 20-minute cycle. As soon as you eat something, you got 20 minutes to get full. That's why they tell you where you don't overeat, eat slow. Because if you try to cram a lot in your mouth within 20 minutes, next thing you know, when the 20 minutes and you start feeling full, you actually overstuff yourself. And now you're going to be miserable. You're going to be hurting. You're going to have pains, gases building up, and all this stuff, all because you overdid it, because you didn't eat slow enough to let your body catch up with the food that you were putting in your body. So we talked about that in 1 hour session where we were talking about slow down behaviors, on how to slow yourself down and not be a compulsive eater. All right. You can always go back and look at one of those old shows. They are on the platform. But from there, we go to adequate sunlight and natural light. A lot of us, we work indoors now, especially with this so-called pandemic that went about. You know, it took us all indoors. We weren't able to go outside and get the fresh air and sunlight. And a lot of us are still stuck inside because we're scared to go outside. You know, that thing has put such a mar on our conscious level that we are too afraid to go out into the sunlight. We had this eclipse thing not too long ago, and people were scared to even go out there and view that, or go out there. It was thinking, I was in the field while that was going on. I was out there tending to the garden, you know what I'm saying? Thought nothing about it, you know. And here it is. I'm still seeing great. I look at the sun daily, sun gaze, I sunbathe. There's art to it, though. All right, so you need to get sunlight on your bare skin as well. You know, we go out there into the sun, and we don't, we be covered up. You know, we have hats on, we have shades on, we have our body, you know, covered up, and we don't get the sunlight on our bare skin. Now, the way that we get vitamin D for us to have strong bone, and for strong bones, give us good blood, because our blood is made in the marrow of the bone. So for us to have good, clean blood and new blood-making abilities, we must keep strong bones. And for us to have strong bones, we got to make sure we have calcium and vitamin D. The only way you can assimilate calcium in your body is to get sunlight, sun exposure on the bare skin. All right. The only way that you can synthesize vitamin D, meaning make vitamin D. Your skin makes vitamin D from the oils that secretes from your skin. Along with the rays of the sun, it synthesizes or form vitamin D. All right. So that vitamin D then is absorbed into your body and makes strong bones, because your bones is nothing but vitamin D and calcium. And that's where it's stored in the bone. So the more vitamin D is stored in the bone, the stronger the bones become. The more calcium is stored in the bone, the more healthier the bones become. So you want to make sure that you're bringing in a bunch of calcium-rich foods and getting sunlight to assimilate that calcium or to make that calcium turn into bone. And you want to make sure that you're going out into the sun, getting sun on your bare skin to make vitamin D and to allow it to go and make the strong bones where you can make good blood. Dr. Shelton always speaks on how to correct anemia. A lot of people are suffering from anemia, especially women who are having a bunch of bleeding, menstrual bleeding and stuff like that. They waste a lot of blood. Those who are bleeding out through their nose, ears, or any other so-called orifices or anything like that, the best way to deal with anemic problems or issues of blood, anemia, bad blood making, low blood, or stuff like that, is to go out into the sunlight. The sunlight is going to help generate more blood making in your body because you're going to have stronger bones. So I've seen that correct sun exposure correct so many people suffering from anemia that it just ain't funny. You'd be like, they're taking all this medicine, all they had to do is go stand out there in the sun. All right, so commandment number 7 is right temperatures. All right, and if you notice in the hospitals, you can't get fresh air. You can't get sunlight or anything like that. In these hospitals, you be cooped up in this little dark room with shade, a bunch of noise in there going on. They bringing you juices, sodas, stuff like that. No clean water. They're bringing you a bunch of toxic foods, a bunch of meat slops, mashed potatoes, French fries, hamburgers, and stuff like that. You ask them for fruit. You don't need no fruit. Salads. You don't need no salads. You need to eat where you can get up out of here. But that's what we need. All right. All right. So commandment number 7, maintain normal temperature. A lot of times, in our day-to-day going, we don't pay attention to temperatures. But you got to think about it. Your body must maintain this homeostasis. Now, homeostasis is your body maintaining a certain balance. All right, it got to maintain a certain balance for your body to live. It got to be between the temperatures of like around the range of 98.7. All right, so that's the normal temperature that people, human organisms, need to be in to be living and be moving about, and your body don't have to go into an erratic state or anything like that. Well, anytime that temperature go lower, your body have to warm itself back up. Now, say you be the reason why it go low, like in case you go take a cold shower and you bring your body temperature down. Your body have to use energy and bringing it back up to that 98.7 because you can damage cells and tissues in the body by taking the temperature too low. Let's say you go take a hot shower. You go take a hot shower that raises your temperature up real high. You can damage cells and tissues with the heat. So your body have to sweat and cool itself down. Remove blood from certain organs and tissues the way it don't be overheated. Now, the removal of that blood, meaning that those organs and tissues are not going to function properly. The more blood flow to an organ, the more it's going to function. To remove blood from that organ or tissue, it's going to slow down the function. So you're going to see if you're not maintaining these normal temperatures, that is causing your body to suffer a lot of the health issues that you're suffering from. Okay. All right. Now we also see that in food. When we eat these cold foods, it locks our stomach up. All right. We know the stomach is a muscle. How is it going to churn food if it's frozen solid because we eating ice cream or eating cold food? If we eating hot foods, we know warm relaxes the muscle. So how the muscle is going to contract if it's relaxed because of the heat of the food that we're eating. So we must eat food in ideal state, room temperature. All right. So it's us that we need to pay attention to these commandments. These things we don't take into account for, and we're wondering why we're suffering. But if you follow the 10 commandments, you will notice that your health is going to be on the rise because you're not going to be wasting energy. You're not going to be producing poison in your body on the outside or the inside. And you're going to notice that your body and cells are going to love you for it because you're going to have this newfound health generating in your life. All right, so commandment number 8. If you notice, I'm going and speaking a little faster because we're about running out of time. We got about 13 minutes here, and the producer love for me to be on time getting up out of here. So regular exercise, movement. A lot of us are suffering from different issues in our body where we can't remove waste out, and we're not creating muscle to help our organs and tissues work properly. Muscles that's not in the stomach usually cause hernias, usually make it hard for our digestive tract to push food through it, because there's no muscle. You need muscle in your abdomen to help with peristaltic motion in your digestive tract. To keep all your organs in place, you need this belt of muscles around your abdomen. To have, many men, can't maintain a good erection is because they don't have a pelvic floor of muscle to keep the erection up. All these different things are happening where we just don't have the physique, the muscle physique that's helping our body maintain health. So exercise will not only help us internally, but it also make us look good to the men and women around us. So the women will look more physique and beautiful with a muscular body and not flabby and stuff like that. And then the men will look chiseled. When the women will be there, they're like, just got cut by muscle. I'm just messing with you. But anyhow, let's go to energy enhancing number 9. So commandment 9, say emotional balance, freedom from addiction, high self-esteem, and a purposeful life with meaningful goals. Now, here this is the emotional balance side of health. We have to have a good state of mind. Even to eat, we must be in a good state of mind. Stress can take down your whole health, even if you are the most healthiest type person in the world. Going out into the park, getting sun, fresh air, exercising, and the whole whim. But if stress come upon you that can take this, zap all your energy away from you, you will start suffering disease. So it's ideal to keep emotional poise. Poise yourself. Don't get too upset. Don't get too mad. Don't get too happy. Don't become too much of anything. Be content in all things. Keep yourself calm, relax. Calm, relax. All right. Freedom from addictions. Don't let anything hype you up. Have high self-esteem. Don't think lowly of yourself. Oh, I just ain't nothing. That's not emotional poise itself. Keep a purposeful life. Most people, when they feel needed, they tend to want to live. Older people, when they done retired, children done raised up and gone out of the house, most people don't have a reason to live anymore, and they start suffering disease and dying out. So just keep a purpose in life, and you will stay healthy, all because you have purpose. When people start going out doing stuff, you give them something to do, give them somebody to watch over and stuff like that, they tend to get healthy because they got purpose and meaning. All right, so make sure you keep purpose and meaning. I had clients who were Army wives, and they were sick, and they would come to me and looking to get healthy. And the first thing I would do is put them into some group. Go find your group to be in, and because you're sitting there worrying about your husband, you at the house lonely and stuff like that. Okay, let's get you out. Let's get you into a church. Let's get you into an organization. Let's find you some activities to do in the city, because they're not from here. But once you get them supplanted into the community, get them with some friends and stuff like that, they tend to get back healthy. You know what I mean? So emotional balance, interesting goals. But that brings us into the last commandment, which is nurturing relationships. And this is where we were just talking about. You get them into some good nurturing relationships, around good people. Get them into churches, get them into organizations that's going to further uplift them out of their sadness, out of their stress, out of their worry, out of their fears and stuff like that. Get them to get out of their mind. If their mind is toxic, we got to change that by getting them out of that mind and create new thoughts, new memories and stuff like that, where they can think about something different. All right, so those are the 10 commandments of health. I'm going to recap them for you, and they are cleanliness. All right, Cleanliness, external, internal cleanliness. Pure air, all right. Pure water, okay. Adequate rest, relaxation, and sleep. The ideal diet, right temperatures, regular exercise, emotional balance, freedom from addiction, high self-esteem, and purposeful life with meaningful goals. The energy enhancer 10 is the nurturing relationships. And good groups. Hang around good people. Keep cheerfulness in your life. If you're always sad, always worried and stuff like that, that'll bring disease and rot your bone in no time at all. All right? But keeping yourself, in a great mental, have good mental influence into your world. I told a lot of people who were suffering with depression, I've had a lot of clients. There's this guy named Norman Cousins. He wrote a book about the joy of laughter. I don't know if that's the name of the book, but it's just showing how laughter can heal the body, or at least put you in a state where you don't even suffer pain or anything like that. You just gotta, because your body, when it's laughing, it releases endorphins that is just like, drugs that get you high, make you feel good, take away pain and stuff, Oxycontin and stuff. So laughter can make you feel good and strong. So it tells you to laugh often. Laughter is joy to the soul, Solomon says in the Bible. All right, so you have to get as much laughter as you can. So the depression was reversed by looking at a marathon of Martin show, the Martin Lawrence show. You sit there and watch that and laugh all day, you'll forget about all the depressive things that's going on in your life. Or you can look at Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son is another good one. Or any of the so-called good, clean comedies you can sit and watch and just laugh. They even say comedy shows were good because they make you laugh and get you to forget your worries. That's what a lot of comedians made a lot of their money. The better they can make you laugh to get stuff off your mind, or make it sound stupid, so funny and stupid that it seemed trivial to you. And this will bring health to your body. So with that being said, I am your coach, your health coach from Savannah Natural Health. This is our show, Natural is Health. We're going to teach you the most naturalist way to get your body back healthy without the use of medicine, without the use of herbs. All you have to do is follow the 10 commandments of health, and you will see your body naturally restore itself back to health. I don't care what the disease the doctor called it, and this is something I'm not just making up. Like I say, I got shelves and cabinets full of clients who've come to me over the decades and reversed their sickness, all their health issues that they were suffering from, by just, first of all, stopping the cause, and then applying the 10 ways of health, the 10 commandments to their life, and the issues, the symptoms, the aches, the pains, the conditions that they were going through that are about faith. And they no longer suffer from those things. And these people have lived long lives without ever their pain or their disease coming back upon them. There are some who disease came back upon them, but those are the ones that went back violating the 10 commandments of health. When they went back to drinking dirty water, when they went back not getting rest and relaxation, when they went back to not maintaining nurturing relationships or emotional poise and all the other conditions of health. It does that to me when I don't follow it properly. I start seeing it, but then I get back on track and I start following back the 10 commandments of health. So I want to encourage you to follow the 10 commandments of health all this week. Give it a try. Get fresh air, get sunlight, drink only clean water, eat the ideal food, get plenty of rest, get maintain normal temperature, get regular exercise, keep emotional balance, and hang around some good people and see that it don't bring you health. So best of health and happiness from Savannah Natural Health. You can get in contact with us at healed.me. That's HEAL.me. /FF, or you can call us at 912-227-9335. Get with us and let us help you reverse your chronic issues. Savannah Natural Health. Best of health, and I'll see y'all next week.
like that.